Hello everyone, welcome to What If Goku Was Raised in Highschool DxD World Movie. Before we start, please go support KatsumaTeorias for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some mistake in character's gender, but of course Goku is a male. This is the story of a 17-year-old boy with a difficult life, no friends, no parents, and nothing special about him. The story of Son Goku. Goku in DxD Part 1. In a part of Japan, we observed a boy running at high speed with a piece of toast in his mouth. The boy had a rather peculiar appearance. He had black hair that resembled a palm tree. Aside from that, he was an ordinary boy, nothing remarkable about his physique, and his face was just like any other 17-year-old teenager. But there was one thing he excelled at more than anyone else: always being late for school. Damn, I'm going to be late again. The boy cursed himself as he continued running with all his might until he reached a large building. Just as they were about to close the doors, he managed to get inside and collapsed to the floor exhausted. Taking deep breaths from exhaustion, the boy gets up and runs back to his classroom. We see how in a classroom, a teacher was taking attendance. He called out a name. Professor Son Goku. The professor waited a few seconds and, hearing no one, proceeded to say, "Professor, I suppose you're late again today. I'll have to mark you absent." But just as I was about to write, the door opened, revealing the same boy, quite sweaty and tired, as he fell to the floor and said with relief, "Goku present." Some in the classroom started laughing. This was a scene that had been repeated several times so far this school year. The boy was known for always being late and not standing out in anything. For most, he was a lost cause. The teacher rubbed his forehead in annoyance as he reprimanded the boy. "Professor, young Goku, what did I tell you about being late?" The young man gets back up, standing on the ground and cleaning his uniform. "Goku, I'm sorry, Professor. I promise I'll arrive earlier tomorrow." Everyone started laughing even more, embarrassing the dark-haired boy. "Professor, you said that yesterday and the day before yesterday and every day before that." The young man lowered his head in embarrassment and sat down in his seat, but quickly stood up shouting. A group of boys began to laugh as the dark-haired boy looked at his seat. They were thumbtacks. Apparently the group that was laughing had put them there. The young man simply took them off and sat back down, lowering his head as the teacher began the class. In the distance, a red-haired girl was discreetly watching him. The class dragged on for Goku, enduring the mocking stares of some and the pitying looks of others, as he tried to pay attention to the teacher. When the bell rang, all the students stood up while the spiky-haired young man stayed in his seat and said in a low voice, "Goku, it's always the same." The son lowered his head while tears fell onto his table. He remained like that for a while until a voice interrupted his lament. "Aren't you going to have lunch?" The spiky-haired boy quickly wiped away his tears and raised his head rapidly, surprised by the person who had spoken to him. "Goku, Ria-senpai, what are you doing here?" she said nervously while trying to hide her tears. The named Rias responds, "Rias, I noticed you weren't in the yard and I got worried, so I came to look for you." The dark-haired boy was surprised by what was said. It was impossible that Ria's Gremory, the prettiest girl in the academy, would care about a nobody like him. "Goku, Ria-senpai, you don't need to worry about me. I'm sorry for the inconvenience," she said as she grabbed her lunchbox and ran out to eat. After recess, the students returned to their classrooms, and as always, Goku only received mocking or pitying glances from the other students. This happened to him every day. Everyone saw him as a lost cause or a nuisance. No one approached him to talk, and that's why he had no friends. As he walked, he whispered to himself, "Goku, I don't need your pitying looks. I don't want anyone's pity." The other hours passed and the bell rang, indicating that classes were over. Son started walking home, but as he was arriving, someone spoke to him. "Hey, are you leaving already?" The voice sent shivers down the young man's spine, and he slowly turned around to meet the gaze of someone he really didn't want to see. "Goku, okay, Kuri-sama, what do you need?" Goku spoke with a hint of fear. The person in front of him was known as the Ice Queen. She was one of the prettiest girls in the academy with the appearance of a model. Her hair was short and snow-white and her eyes were yellow. Her features were delicate, but her gaze was that of someone with few friends. She was kind to most people, but with Goku, it was a different story. The poor boy had to endure her insults and hateful, repulsive stares every day. She had caused him so much psychological damage that the mere sound of her voice made his hair stand on end. The white-haired girl responds with disdain to Goku's question. "Kuri, you know I need it, you piece of shit. I'm really stressed and I need a punching bag," the girl said, cracking her knuckles. Another thing she was known for was being incredibly good at martial arts, and she was the best in her karate class. He just sighed resignedly. This was already something common for him. She used him as a punching bag whenever she was stressed or bored. The dark-haired man simply lowered his head, mustered all the courage he could, and yelled at the girl, "Goku, go to hell, bitch." That was something he had wanted to do a long time ago. That would have been the best day of his life if it weren't for the fact that right after saying that, he received a powerful punch that sent him flying about 3 meters. When he hit the ground, he tried to get up, but the white-haired girl kicked him, sending him slightly upwards and then dropping him again as she grabbed his hair and pulled him in front of her. Curie, hey, you piece of shit, don't you remember what you are? She leaned close to Goku's ear and whispered, Curie, you're my punching bag. When he finished saying that, he slammed Goku's head into the ground, leaving him there as he walked away. A few hours passed before the young man awoke, and he pulled his head out of the ground with a cry of pain. His nose was broken and his abdomen hurt terribly. He lay writhing in pain until someone saw him and came over. Hey, are you okay? The spiky-haired boy raised his head as best he could to see a boy with brown hair and eyes of the same color. Seeing his condition, the brunette quickly bent down to check on the boy, realizing he was in very bad shape, so the boy took him to the hospital. A few hours later, in Goku's hospital room, he was lying in bed staring at the ceiling. At that moment, the door opened, revealing the same chestnut-haired man who had brought him to the hospital. I see you're feeling better now. How on earth did you end up like that? Goku recognized him instantly and replied, Goku, thanks for bringing me here. Some thugs robbed and beat me up, that's how I ended up like this. He had lied, but he had no other choice. That girl had threatened him, saying that if he didn't tell anyone she would beat him even more, and he didn't want his savior to get involved in all this either. I see, be more careful next time, you never know who you'll run into. The spiky-haired boy settled himself to sit down and with some difficulty managed to do so. Goku, thank you, my name is Son Goku by the way. Oh, it's a pleasure, Goku, my name is HighschoolDxd. Goku, it's a pleasure. By the way, don't we go to the same school? Issei, now that you mention it, you're right, I think I've seen you a couple of times. Goku also recognized it. Goku, oh you're right, you're HighschoolDxd, you're in the same class as me. Issei, oh yeah, that's good, tell me, do you want to be my friend? The question took Son by surprise. Was someone really asking him to be their friend? This was the first time anything like this had happened to him. Goku, why yes of course. Son responded with great excitement. At last he was going to have a friend to share with. Issei, well I have to go, it's getting quite late and my parents will be worried, see you later. Goku, ah yes, see you tomorrow at school if I get discharged. Saying goodbye, the spiky-haired boy was very happy as he lay down on his bed. He had finally made a friend, and he would treasure him like a precious treasure. A few minutes later, a nurse entered the room. Nurse, Son Goku, it seems you don't have any serious injuries, just a broken nose. Next time be more careful when you're out on the street. Goku gave a nervous laugh. Goku, thank you very much. Nurse will discharge you immediately, although you might have a little difficulty walking, so be careful. Goku, okay, thank you very much. The son said with relief, at least he wouldn't have to spend the night in a hospital. He was very afraid of syringes and the smell in this place. A few hours later, the dark-haired man was walking towards his house where his mother was waiting for him. Goku, Mom's probably worried, I need to hurry. With that said, the son quickened his pace until he reached his house. When he arrived, he opened the door with his key and left his shoes in the entryway. His house was nothing special, a small house for a small family. Goku, I'm home, he shouted to announce his arrival, but surprisingly no one answered. A little worried, the son shouted again as he walked inside the house which had the lights off. Goku, Mom, I'm home, where are you? The boy entered his mother's room to see if she was asleep, but when he opened the door, he encountered a scene that would remain etched in his mind for a long time. Goku, Mom, he shouted as he ran into the room. There was his mother hanging from the ceiling, with what looked like a rope tightly encircling her neck. The spiky-haired boy quickly cut the rope and took his mother's body, crying as he held her in his arms. Goku Mom, end of Chapter 1. Goku and DxD Part 2. At Kyoto Academy, many people were surprised. Son Goku had arrived early for the first time. As the spiky-haired boy walked along, the other students stared at him in surprise. However, the black-haired boy kept walking, not looking at anything but his path. In a moment of carelessness for not looking up, he bumped into another person and fell to the ground. Son got up without giving it much thought and prepared to continue walking, but upon paying closer attention to the other person, he realized it was Issei, his new friend. Issei, that hurt. Goku, oh sorry Issei. Issei, recognizing the voice, happily gets up. Issei, oh Goku. The brunette greets the black-haired boy energetically. Goku, hi Issei, everything alright? Issei, I'm fine, it's a relief that you were discharged so early. Goku, yes. Issei, well, shall we go to class? Goku, okay. With that said, they both headed to the classroom, under the surprised gaze of most of those passing by. Upon arriving at the classroom, Goku and Issei sat in their respective seats while the students around them were gossiping quietly. Did you see? The useless one is friends with the pervert. That's right, they're a perfect match, both failures of the academy, haha. And on top of that, the loser arrives early today, this day will be very interesting. They both heard the comments but didn't pay them any attention. They were used to it after all. After a while, the teacher arrives and takes attendance. Professor, congratulations, son Goku. You finally kept your word and arrived early. Goku, yeah, whatever. The teacher was slightly annoyed by the action but ignored it and proceeded to give his lesson. While the teacher was explaining, someone behind Goku threw a ball of paper at his head. The dark-haired man, now knowing who it was, turned his head slightly, glancing sideways at the person and said something quietly so the teacher couldn't hear. Goku, do that again and you'll be signing your own death warrant. This angered the boy and he repeated the action, starting to laugh along with his companions. Goku simply gets up under the watchful eyes of the others, including the professor, and walks towards the person who had thrown the paper ball at him. Goku, I warned you. Without hesitating for a moment, the boy grabs him by the shirt and throws him to the ground, kicking and punching him until the teacher stops him and takes him to the principal's office. In the principal's office, Goku was facing someone who was asking him questions. Director, why did you do that to your classmate? Goku, he was bothering me. I told him to stop, but he didn't, so I had to stop him myself. Director, but that's no reason to hit your classmate. Goku, no, but putting thumbtacks on my chair, being bothered every day, and being told all sorts of things, yes. They should be more attentive to the bullying in this school. Then they wonder why school shootings happen. The principal sighs and tells Goku to return to his class, warning him not to do anything like that again. When he entered the room, everyone was silent. Paying no attention to this, he sat down, ignoring the stares of the others. Professor, young Goku, why did you do that? Goku, let's just say I got tired of being bothered every day, so I decided to teach one of the people who bother me a lesson. Any problem? The son said, raising his head in an intimidating manner, angering the teacher. Professor, young man, I ask that you show me more respect. Goku, yeah, whatever you say. The teacher swallows hard, holding back his emotions, and continues giving his lesson. When the bell rings, Goku gets up and starts to leave the classroom, but someone grabs his shoulder. The son simply turned his head, glancing sideways at the person holding him back. They were the friends of the guy he had punched earlier. Goku, wow, those are the friends of that idiot I beat up. The comment enraged the person who was holding him by the shoulder. I should teach you a lesson, don't you think? Goku, you're right, I should teach them a lesson. As he finished speaking, the man turned around and kicked the guy in the groin, who knelt down clutching his crotch. Without giving him another moment, Goku knees him in the face, causing him to fall backward, hitting his head and losing consciousness. You bastard, how dare you? The other man who was with him lunged at the dark-haired man, giving him a hard blow that knocked him to the ground. The bully was about to kick Goku, but Goku caught his foot, causing the other to fall. He quickly got up and forcefully threw himself at the guy, hitting him with an elbow to the abdomen with all his weight. The bully lets out a muffled cry while clutching his abdomen, and Goku gets up. Goku, and don't you dare say a word of this to anyone if you don't want me to kill you. He said in a threatening manner as he wiped the blood from his mouth and left the room. As he left, people looked at him the same as always, only there was a difference. Now it wasn't pity or contempt, but rather fleeting glances and murmurs. Some of the things he managed to hear were things like, "Did you hear? The loser punched the class bully." Or, "Today is very strange. First he arrives early, then it turns out he has a friend, and now he taught the class bully a lesson." Goku continued walking as if nothing had happened and found someone he knew sitting down to lunch. Goku, Issei, do you mind if I accompany you? Issei, no problem, sit down. With Issei's approval, Goku sat down next to him while taking out his food. Issei, it looks really good, did you make it? Goku, yes, I did it myself. Issei, wow, I wish I knew how to cook like that. Goku, thank you. After finishing eating, they both went to the living room, and when they entered, there was nothing strange. Goku, they made the right decision. When classes ended, Issei and Goku were walking towards the exit, but someone stopped them. Hey, where do you think you're going? Goku tensed up but then relaxed. Goku, here we go again. Turning around, Goku saw Kyuri, but this time he wasn't going to get beaten up. This time it would be different. Goku, what do you want, bitch? The girl got angry at the comment. Kyuri, who do you think you are? Wasn't yesterday's beating enough for you? Goku, don't make me laugh, that only tickled me. Kyuri, oh, is that so? Then I'll have to remind you. The white-haired girl cracked her knuckles and prepared to beat Goku up again. Goku, hey look, an alien, Kyuri. Where? When Kyuri turned around, Goku grabbed Issei by the arm and ran as fast as he could until they hid in an alley. As he caught his breath, Issei protested the action. Issei, what the hell was that? Goku, she's someone you don't want to mess with, believe me. Issei, what do you mean? Goku, are you an idiot? She's Kyuri Tanaka, the #1 karateka at our school. Issei, that's true, but why did we run away from her? Goku, she's a bully, she's the reason I ended up in the hospital yesterday. Issei, wait, are you saying that she was the one who left you like this? Goku, yes, that's why I escaped. Issei, but why would someone as kind as her do something like that? Goku, kind, yeah, right. She's just pretending to be kind, but she's really just a bitch who likes to hit me. Issei, wow, that explains a lot. Goku, let's just get out of here before he finds us. Issei okay. And so they both leave the scene, saying their goodbyes and going their separate ways home. As the weeks passed, Goku stopped being bothered. Little by little he showed that he wasn't one for jokes, but it took him 2 or 3 fights to build a reputation. Somehow he was exceptionally good at fighting, even though he had never fought before and wasn't in good physical condition. Issei too stopped being bothered for always being with Goku. The spiky-haired boy had already broken the arms, fingers, and feet of those who fought him. The principal and the teacher tried to stop this, but it just stopped happening. Nobody talked about the two of them anymore, at least not in their presence. Goku and Issei were very close friends, they were best and only friends. Issei's parents liked Goku, and he spent a lot of time at their house playing video games or reading manga. Some time later, after learning the story of how Goku became an orphan, Issei's parents decided to let him stay and live with them. The spiky-haired boy was very grateful and now lived with his best friend whom he saw as a brother. In Issei's room, Goku was reading while Issei finished a game of Tekken. Issei, I won. Goku, okay, now it's my turns. Leaving the book on the bed, Goku took the controller and started playing while Issei picked up the manga the spiky-haired boy had been reading earlier. Issei, I stayed around this part, he said while looking for the part where he had stopped. Goku, you stopped on page 47. Oh, Issei, thanks. A few seconds later, Goku finished playing. Goku, I'm done. Issei, wait so fast. Goku, I guess I'm a master at this game now. I know all the combos and powerful attacks of every character. Issei, damn, not only in real life you're good at fighting in games too. Goku, whatever you say. Issei, hey, have you ever imagined living in a world where superpowers exist or something like that? Goku, don't talk nonsense, something like that is impossible. As much as I'd like to live in a supernatural world, I know it's not possible for something like that to exist in real life. Issei, you're right, real life sucks. Goku, that's how it is. Now pass me the manga, I'm almost finished with it. Issei, seriously, but it's like 200 pages long. Goku, I was reading it while you were sleeping, I got way ahead. Issei, hey, that's cheating. Goku, it's not cheating, I just took advantage of the bug. Issei, damn it, I'll have to do the same. Goku, yes, just pass me the book if you don't want me to spoil what happens at the end. Issei quickly places the book in Goku's hands, eliciting a small laugh from the black-haired boy. Goku, I guess that's not something to joke about. Issei, not at all, spoilers are the worst thing you can do to a person. Goku, I guess so. The next day, Goku and Issei were heading home together after finishing classes. As they were crossing a bridge, they noticed a rather pretty girl watching them. Issei, excuse me, do you need something? Well, how do Issei, I like you, go out with me. These words left both boys stunned, neither of them could believe it. Was a pretty girl actually asking Issei out on a date? Issei, wait, what did you just say? I like you, please go out with me. Issei snapped out of his shock and quickly replied. Issei, oh of course, I'm glad our date will be on Sunday, by the way I'm Yuma. Having said that, the girl runs away, much to the astonishment of both boys. Goku, what the hell just happened? Issei, I don't know, but I think I like it. Goku, what the? How is it possible that you have a girlfriend before me? Issei, yes, I have a girlfriend, thank you Kami. Goku knew. Issei, yes. Goku fell to his knees on the ground. Goku, damn it, am I seriously the only one without a girlfriend now? Issei, don't worry, I'm sure you'll get a girlfriend someday. Goku was surrounded by a depressive aura. Goku, yeah, sure, Issei, come on, don't be like that, you'll have a girlfriend someday. Goku, yeah, I guess so, you can have a girlfriend, but there's something I'm better at than you. Issei, and that's it, Goku, mine's longer, Goku said as he ran home with Issei following him. Issei, bastard, Goku, you'll never catch me. Issei, we'll see about that. On Sunday, Issei was nervously looking at himself in the mirror, while Goku watched him lying face down on the bed. Goku, come on, you look fine, stop worrying about it. Issei, but I don't know, what if she doesn't like how I look? Goku, if he confessed his feelings to you, it's because he likes you for who you are. Clothes won't change that fact. Issei sighed resignedly and raised his gaze with motivation in his eyes. Issei, you're right, Goku, go there, tiger. Issei, yes. Issei runs down the stairs and leaves the house. Goku, he's already gone. I'd better spy on them. I want to see what their first date is like and then make fun of him later when I take some pictures. Goku said with a malicious laugh as he took out his phone. Goku, if I get one where they kiss, that would be much better. I could blackmail him with that for weeks, he said while laughing and proceeded to change to follow Issei. Goku, espionage operation initiated. The date was normal, they went to the movies, shopping for clothes, the usual. Goku had taken some great photos during the day, and as sunset approached, he saw Yuma getting close to Issei's face. Goku, whoa, he's going to kiss him, I have to take the picture. But something happened that the spiky-haired boy didn't expect. Just as he thought he was going to kiss him, Yuuma pierced Issei's abdomen with a strange object and his clothes had changed. Now he wore revealing clothing and crow wings while holding the object with which he had stabbed Issei. Goku ran out to see if Issei was alright. Goku, Issei, are you okay? Goku held Issei, trying to stop the bleeding, but it was useless. The brunette was bleeding out and he couldn't do anything to prevent it. Issei, with his last bit of strength, told Goku. Issei, Goku, I'm sorry B, but it looks like I won't be able to go home today. Goku was crying while hugging Issei. Goku, don't say that. You'll come home and we'll have dinner like every day and this will all just be a bad dream. But don't leave me, said the dark-haired man with his blood-stained hands while holding the almost dead Issei. Issei, I'm sorry. At that moment, Issei's body went limp, indicating that he had died. Goku remained silent for a few seconds, but someone interrupted his sobs. Yuuma, oh wow, so you were following us. Sorry, but I'll have to kill you too. By the way, I'm Reincarnation. End of Chapter 2. Goku and DxD Part 3. Goku stood up, gently placing Issei's body on the ground. I will reign, what do you want to fight? Don't make me laugh. Goku approached slowly with his head down. Goku, you bastard. He whispered as he continued walking. Reincarnation, since you want to die, I'll grant your wish. He said I will reign as he prepared to throw his spear, but an earthquake began to be felt as the sky clouded over. Goku, I won't forgive you. Lightning began to strike everywhere as if it were a storm. Little by little, Goku's hair stood up, flickering between black and gold, and suddenly he screamed. Goku, I forgive you. Thus, Goku's hair turned a radiant golden color as he continued to shout. Reincarnation was startled by this, but did not back down and threw her sword towards Goku. However, the song simply dodged it and resumed speaking. Goku, I'm furious. The current Goku isn't that muscular or wearing those clothes, just imagine him thinner and in a uniform. Goku's war cry, along with his new appearance, startled Reincarnation, making her step back a little. Reincarnation, B, but what the hell? Goku quickly lunged towards Reincarnation, who had no time to react and received a powerful blow that sent her crashing into a tree. Reincarnation spat out some blood as she watched Goku lunge at her again. Reincarnation, how are you supposed to have so much power? You're just a miserable human. The sound did not answer the question and struck Reincarnation again, causing the tree to fall. Reincarnation, P, please don't kill me, I beg you. Goku only became more enraged and prepared to finish him off with a powerful blow, but he stopped abruptly. Goku, W, what the hell? Blood came out of Goku's mouth as he stared at the spear piercing his abdomen. Goku, who are you? A man with wings like Reincarnation's descends from the sky and positions himself next to his apparent companion. I'm sorry, but it seems this ends here. You are certainly an interesting and very powerful person. It would have been interesting to see you grow stronger, but you had the misfortune of facing me. Goku was still stunned but didn't give up. Goku, you damn coward. The now golden-haired man launched himself with everything he had at the man, clashing fists. It seems you've weakened. My spear did quite a bit of damage, didn't it? Goku gritted his teeth. Goku, shut up. Son attacked again with a kick, but it was blocked by the man with some difficulty. Although I must admit, despite having a hole in your chest, you're quite strong, you're even making me back down, you're a true warrior and you have my respect, but this goes no further. After saying that, the man materialized another spear and pierced Goku's chest with it, causing him to let out a loud cry of pain and fall to the ground. Well, goodbye. Then the man disappeared, leaving Goku on the ground. Goku, damn it, I couldn't protect him. He said as his hair turned black again and he crawled towards Issei. Goku, Issei, forgive me. The spiky-haired boy took Issei's hand and fell dead to the ground. A few meters away, some people were standing, astonished by what had just happened. Ria's B, but what was that supposed to be? I don't know, but it was impressive, said a blonde-haired boy. Ria's, we must revive them. Ara will have a very strong new member. Goku, W, what happened? Said the spiky-haired boy as he got out of bed. Goku, my bed, was all that a dream? Son was wondering if it had all been a dream, but his train of thought was interrupted by his sheets moving. Goku, but what? When he removed the sheets, he realized two things. First, he was naked, and second, a beautiful girl was naked in his bed. Goku, W, what? With a shout, Goku jumped out of bed as the girl got up. Good morning. Goku, wait, Ria-senpai, what are you doing naked in my bed? Ria's, oh that, I was healing you. It turns out you had a tough battle last night. Goku, W, wait, last night, wasn't that a dream? Ria's, it wasn't a dream, everything that happened last night was real. Goku, wait, if it was real then Issei. Ria's, don't worry, just get changed and go to school, I'll explain everything there. Goku, oh okay, but put some clothes on already. Ria's blushed a little at what was said, but she just turned around and put on her bra. Ria's, button it up. Goku, are you serious? Ria's, yes, do it. Goku swallowed hard and approached, placing his hands on Ria's bra. Goku, come on Goku, you're a gentleman, you can do this. Sun thought as he fastened Ria's bra, who was amused by Goku's reaction. Hey Goku, are you awake? The spiky-haired boy became alarmed and put on his shirt. Goku, yes, I'm awake. Once they had both changed, Goku became serious and looked at Ria's. Goku, where is Issei? Ria's, she's in the next room with Akino. Goku, Akino, Ria's, yes, she's my best friend. Goku, oh right Akino, I remember who she is. Ria's, well, let's see if they're awake yet. But before leaving the room, a scream was heard from the next room, indicating that they were already awake. Goku, that was Issei. Ria's, apparently so, let's give them a few minutes. Goku, why yes. The raven-haired boy said, blushing slightly. At Kyo Academy. Several people were gathered in a somewhat dark building when one of them spoke. Goku, all right, what the heck happened? Ria's, well, the first thing I should clarify is that we are demons. Ria said as she and her entire entourage unfurled their wings, surprising both boys. Goku, wait, what? Ria's, that's right, in this world there are three factions, the demons, the angels, and the fallen angels. We belong to the demons. Goku took a few seconds to process all of this, and when he was ready, he asked again. Goku, all right, so what's supposed to have happened last night? Ria's, you see, it turns out that that woman, Rienair, who is a fallen angel, was sent to kill Issei because he possesses something called a sacred gear. Goku, I see, what's this sacred gear thing? Ria's, these are blessings bestowed upon some people at birth, so to avoid problems, the fallen angels decided to kill him. Issei, so that's the reason. Issei said as he lowered his head, but Goku put a hand on his shoulder. Goku, don't worry then, wasn't Issei supposed to be dead? I saw him die. Ria's, about that, Issei unconsciously summoned me, and when we were about to intervene, all that happened. Issei, wait, what happened? Ria's, we were about to attack so Goku wouldn't die, however the ground began to shake and lightning bolts fell from the sky. At one point, Goku screamed loudly and his hair turned golden. The spiky-haired man was reminded of what had happened. Goku, that's right, what the heck was that? Ria's, I don't know what that was, but your power increased a lot. You went from having the power of a human to humiliating a fallen angel. If they hadn't attacked you from behind, you would have killed them both. Goku, that's right, I remember now. Issei, wait, are you saying Goku is that powerful? Ria's, that's right, it's like a strange transformation, then the fallen angels left and they both died. Goku, wait, if I died, how am I supposed to be here, just like Issei? Goku asked, intrigued, why he wasn't in the other world. Ria's, simple, I revived them as demons. Goku, wait, you revived us as demons. Ria's, that's right, I have the ability to revive people as demons. Now you are my servants and part of the Gremory clan. Issei, well, this takes me by surprise. It turns out that a world like the one I told you about actually exists in real life. The chestnut-haired man said to Goku. Goku, I guess so, I still can't quite grasp all of this, but I guess thank you for saving us. Ria's, it was nothing, now you are my dear and you must serve me as your mistress. Goku, that sounds really weird, you know, said the son, blushing slightly. Issei and I'm supposed to be the pervert. Goku hits Issei on the head. Goku, just shut up, Issei, and why is that? Issei complained to the spiky-haired boy. Goku, because you're an idiot. Ria's, well, if you want to be of use to me, you'll have to get strong, so it's best if you train. Currently, Issei has to find out what his sacred gear is, and Goku has to learn to master that power he showed. Goku, dominate, but I don't even know what the hell that was. Ria's, you'll have to find out. Goku, you make it sound easy. Goku said as he lay down on the couch. Akino, ara, Goku-san doesn't want to train with me. Akino said as she slowly approached Goku. Goku, and no, it's okay, Akino-san, thank you. Akino, ara, I guess that's okay. Goku, well, thanks again, but we have to go to class. Ria's, okay, see you. Goku, goodbye. The raven-haired boy said as he left through the door with Issei. When classes were over, Ria's called Issei and Goku back to the building. When the door opened, only the white-haired girl was in an armchair eating sweets and the blonde-haired boy was leaning against the wall. Goku, we're here. Upon noticing their presence, the redhead detaches himself from the wall and walks towards them. Goku, you were Yudo Kiba, weren't you? Kiba, that's right, it's a pleasure. Goku, same here. The son moved his head toward the other figure in the room. Goku, and who are you? The white-haired girl just looked at him and went back to eating sweets, ignoring him. This action made Kiba sweat a little. Kiba, that's just how she is, her name is Kaneko. Goku, a pleasure. Well, where are Ria's and Akino? Ria's, were you calling me? Rias said as she appeared next to Akino. Goku, here you are. Hi, Rias. Rias, hello. Goku, hello, Akino. Akino, hello, Goku-kun. Issei, well, why did you call us president? Rias, oh that, you see we demons have to do the jobs people ask of us. I'll send you two together. Goku, I see, what kind of job is this? Rias, it's simple, they're just going to see a lonely man who needs company to talk to. Issei, is that all? Who would summon a demon just to talk? Rias, I don't know, I suppose there are people who are really lonely. Goku, okay, let's go. Issei. End of Chapter 3. Goku and DxD Part 4. Goku, let's go. Issei. Issei, okay, let's go. And so they both went on their first errand. It wasn't bad at all, actually. The man was a curious person, and it was very interesting talking to him and sharing ideas. So much so that Goku gave the man his number to talk another time. Goku and Issei were talking on their way to the club when a person appeared in front of them. Well, what do we have here? The spiky-haired man immediately recognized the voice. Goku, you? Oh, so you remember me, how have you been? Goku, you damn bastard, I'll kill you. The sound rushed towards the man, but he was only dodging it. What a disappointment, can't you do that last time? In this state you're pathetic even for a demon. Goku, shut up. Meanwhile, Issei didn't know what was happening. Issei, Goku, who is that? Goku, Issei, find Rias, this guy is the one who killed me. The chestnut-haired man was surprised by the explanation and immediately became serious. Issei, but will you be able to keep him on your own? Goku, yes, just go and call her. Issei, okay. Issei, hesitating about whether to leave or not, decides to run to the club to warn Rias, leaving Goku behind with the other guy. Oh no, I won't let you. He said this while carrying a spear, but he couldn't throw it because Goku hit him in the face for his carelessness, enraging the fallen angel. Very well, you've made me angry, kid. He said this as he punched Goku in the jaw, sending him crashing into a wall and breaking it. What, you'll fall with just that one blow? Now I can't believe you're the one who almost beat me even with a hole in my abdomen. Goku slowly began to emerge from the rubble, and with some difficulty he managed to get out. Goku, is that all you've got? Goku said threateningly as he assumed a somewhat clumsy fighting stance. You're somewhat resilient, but let's see how you fare against this. The fallen angel lunges at Goku, delivering a powerful kick followed by several consecutive blows and finishing with a spinning kick, leaving Goku on the ground with serious injuries. It seems I went a little too far, but oh well, those are the consequences of making me angry. Now tell me, what are your last words? Goku, damn it, I can't die here, not again. If only I could do that again. What? Son thought to himself as he clenched his fists in helplessness. Goku, I couldn't protect him, he died because of me, now I'll die without being able to protect anything again. Goku began to get up while clenching his fists even tighter. Goku, I won't die here. The song was playing loudly as her eyes turned blue and her hair stood on end. Wow, so you're finally going to use it. Goku continued to expel power uncontrollably, his eyes remained blue and his hair was now standing on end. Same here, imagine he's not that strong and he's wearing a uniform. Goku, let's go. Goku was really pushing himself to reach that power again. He was about to achieve it when a voice interrupted him. Rias, this ends here. The spiky-haired boy calms down and his hair and eyes return to normal. Goku, Rias. Rias, East arrived saying there was someone strange, but I never imagined it would be the same person from that night. Rias, Gremory, I guess my fun's over, I have to go. Said the fallen angel as he dispersed into black feathers. By the way, my name is Daunashiku, see you next time. Goku, where do you think you're going, you bastard? Said the spiky-haired guy as he started running. Rias, Goku, stop him. Goku stops abruptly at the redhead's request. Goku, but Rias. Rias, let him go, it wouldn't be good to start another fight. Goku reluctantly agrees and sits on the ground in pain. Goku, damn, that bastard gave me a good beating, he said while complaining. Akino, ara, Goku-san doesn't want me to heal him. Goku blushes at the request and politely declines. Goku, I'm sorry Akino, it's better not to. Akino, somewhat disappointed, pouts. Rias, okay, let's go to the club to heal you, Goku. Goku, well. Everyone was gathered at the Occult Research Club. Rias, well, Goku first, how did your assignment go? Goku, it went pretty well, he was a nice guy, I even gave him my number so we could talk again sometime. Rias, was it that good? Issei, yes, Goku really liked that guy. Goku, he's an interesting guy, I like talking to people like him. Rias, I see, now let's talk about what happened next, how did you meet him? Goku, we were walking after finishing the errand and he just appeared. I immediately sent Issei here to warn you while I stayed behind to fight. Rias, that was very reckless of you. Goku, I know, but I had no other choice. Issei has zero combat experience and isn't very strong either, that was the best thing to do. Rias, well, you have a point. Goku, I fought him for a while. When they arrived, he was about to use that thing again. Rias, seriously, how was it? Goku, when I was on the ground, I started to get angry thinking about how powerless I felt. That anger was somehow the trigger to start releasing that power. If they had arrived 10 seconds later, I would have been able to use it again. Rias, I see from what you're saying, the trigger is anger. That would also explain how you used it the first time you were furious about Issei's death. Goku, I guess so. I'll try again tomorrow. Maybe I'll manage it. Rias will see they can live. Issei, well, goodbye, President. Goku, goodbye, Rias. Rias, goodbye. At Issei's house. Issei, I envy you. It turns out you have impressive power capable of killing a fallen angel. Goku let out a nervous laugh. Goku, what are you saying? You also have a power you can't use yet. You'll surely be very strong when you find out what your sacred gear is. Issei was motivated by Goku's words and raised his head. Issei, you're right, then I'll be the king of the harem. A drop of sweat appeared on Goku's forehead. Goku, I really have to teach him to be more chivalrous and stop being such a pervert. The next day, Goku and Issei went through their daily routine. They bathed, changed, ate breakfast, and went to school. On their way to the academy, Rias appears and grabs them both by the arms, embarrassing Goku and turning Issei on. Goku, hello Rias. Rias, hello guys, how are you? Issei, I couldn't be better. Both received disapproving looks from all the men and even the women, but without paying much attention, the three went to their classroom and attended their class normally. During recess, Issei and Goku were having lunch as usual when a group of 5 people appeared in front of them. Goku, it's been a while since they bothered me, don't you think, Issei? Issei, it seems so, I'll leave it to you. Goku, of course. Hey idiots, what were you doing arm in arm with Rias-sama? Goku, let's skip all the talk and get to the action, what do you think? Well, since you're so eager to die. The guy threw a punch at Goku, but Goku easily dodged it and struck him in the arm he had used, breaking it. The guy started shouting, drawing everyone's attention, and murmurs soon followed. Poor idiots, Goku is going to break their bones. You're right, but I'm glad those bastards once stole my money. Goku, okay, who's next? One of the group members lunged at Goku, but he simply ducked, delivering a powerful kick to his abdomen and sending him flying. Goku, they're pathetic, and I thought they'd give me a bit of a fight. With that said, the other 3 who remained launched themselves at the same time, but even then they couldn't touch Goku. The spiky-haired boy defeated them all with a single blow. Goku, well, that's all, I guess. With that, Sun sat down again next to Issei and resumed his lunch. Issei, idiots, don't you know your reputation? Goku, it seems they live under a rock or something. Issei, hey, have you finished your lunch yet? You've been eating way too fast lately. Goku, I know, ever since that day my appetite has increased. I'm starting to worry. Issei, don't overthink it, Issei said as he finished eating. Goku, well, another person appeared in front of them both. The spiky-haired boy saw the shadow and said, Goku, so someone else wants to end up with broken bones today. But when she looked up, she came face to face with someone she hadn't seen for weeks. Goku, but just look, it's Kyuri Tanaka, it's been a while, hasn't it? The son said arrogantly. Issei, she's changed so much. Before he was terrified just by seeing her, and now he acts like this. I guess it's normal considering how strong she's become. The chestnut-haired man thought. Kyuri a Goku-kun's. Just hearing that, Goku froze. Why on earth would the person who beat him up just for fun call him that? Goku, wait, what did you call me? Kyuri, I wanted to apologize. This had really taken him by surprise. Goku, wait, what? Kyuri, heavens, don't make me repeat myself. I wanted to apologize for everything I've done to you. Goku, wow, this is unexpected. Kyuri, I'm sorry, I was a total idiot. Goku, wait, is she blushing? What the heck is going on? The person who used to hit me is now apologizing and calling me Goku-kun. Goku, I don't know what to say. Kyuri, if you don't want to forgive me, that's fine. I just wanted to get this off my chest. I'm so sorry. She really looked defenseless, like a lamb in the middle of the night facing a wolf, as if she were about to die of shame right then and there. Goku, well, it's difficult for me, you know, I'm still processing this. Kyuri, it's okay, after all I was a total brute hitting you, but please forgive me. At this point, the white-haired girl was on the verge of tears. Goku's heart almost melted when he saw her like that. Goku, okay, I forgive you, just get out of my sight. Kyuri was noticeably pleased by Goku's words. Kyuri, really thank you, she said as she lunged at Goku in a tight hug. Goku, wait, let go of me. Goku managed to get her off him. Kyuri, sorry, goodbye. The white-haired girl ran away in embarrassment. A moment of silence reigned in the courtyard for a few seconds. Issei, what the hell just happened? Goku, I don't know either, did he really apologize and hug me? Issei, it seems so. Goku, out. End of Chapter 4. Goku and DxD Part 5. A boy with brown hair and another with black hair were walking down the streets. The dark-haired man was complaining. Goku, I'm bored, I have nothing to do. Issei, me too, we're just walking around the city like two idiots. Goku, well, let's see if we can find somewhere to have some fun like an arcade or something. Issei, it's not a bad idea. The chestnut tree stopped talking since it had bumped into someone. Issei, oh, I'm so sorry. Issei said as he stood up and extended his hand towards the other person. It's nothing, it happens to me very often, the other person complained while taking the chestnut-haired man's hand. Issei looked around, noticing that the girl's belongings were scattered on the floor. Issei, I'm so sorry, I'll help you pick up your things. It's not necessary. The chestnut-haired man began picking up clothes from the floor until he came across some pink panties. The blonde girl hurried and grabbed her underwear, embarrassed. Issei, okay. Issei, well, are you traveling? Yes, I just arrived in the city, I was looking for the church. Issei, now that I look at her closely, she seems to be a nun. The president told me not to go near churches, but I can't just leave this girl here. To hell with it, I'm going to help her. Issei thought. Issei, I know where the church is, I can guide you if you want. The girl quickly approached Issei with her eyes glowing. Seriously, thank you so much. Goku, then let's go. Issei, okay. With that, the three set off towards the church, which was on a mountain not far away, but on the way they came across a boy with an injured knee. The redhead quickly approached the boy and crouched down, placing her hands on his knee. A faint green glow emanated from her hands. When she finished, the boy's knee was completely healed and he went outside to find someone. Boy, look, that girl cured me. But when the woman saw the girl, she quickly took the boy by the hand and led him as far away as she could. Nothing changes, even when in another city. The girl thought as she watched the boy and the woman walk away, but suddenly the boy turned around and thanked the redhead, who waved back. Issei, it seems he gave thanks. It seems so. Goku, hey, what was that green energy you used to heal the kid? The spiky-haired boy asked curiously, intrigued by the possibility that this thing was a sacred gear like the one Issei had. That is a blessing that was given to me by God, with it I can heal others. Issei, that's incredible. The girl was embarrassed by the compliments, however Goku remained thoughtful. As they got closer to the church, a chill ran through both boys' bodies. Then Goku approached Issei and whispered, Goku, we have to leave quickly. Being near a church weakens us a lot, it's too risky to stay here for too long. Issei, I understand. As soon as we leave her, we'll go. This feeling is too much for me, Issei said, feeling quite uncomfortable. Thank you so much for bringing me, would you like to stay for tea? At this point, Issei was trembling. Goku was incredibly uncomfortable too, but he was handling it better. Goku, sorry, we're really in a hurry. My name is Goku and his is Issei. Nice to meet you. My name is Asia Argento, it's a pleasure. Issei, I likewise. Asia, goodbye. Asia, goodbye, Asia shouted as Goku and Issei quickly walked away from the church. Once far away, they both let out a heavy sigh. Issei, I thought I was going to die, that pressure was incredibly powerful. Goku, you're right, we're still weak. Just approaching a church weakens us greatly, we must never return to that place. Issei, I'd agree. Goku, let's go to the club. So they both went towards the occult research club, and there Goku told Rias about what had happened. Rias, are you crazy? Never go near a church again, that's an order, he said rudely. Goku, I didn't know you had such a bossy side. Rias turns her head away angrily at Goku's comment. Goku, oh great, now she's mad at me. Aquino decides to speak to lighten the atmosphere. Aquino, well, changing the subject, the Archduke has just commissioned us to carry out a suppression order. Issei, suppression order, what is that? Aquino, suppression orders are missions to eliminate rogue demons. Rogue demons are those demons who betrayed their master, and therefore we must eliminate them to avoid any collateral damage. Goku, I see, that sounds interesting. I'll be able to test my fighting skills. I've been practicing martial arts with Issei. We're still beginners, but we know how to defend ourselves. Rias, don't think it will be easy, rogue demons are dangerous. Aquino, that's right, the one we're going to eliminate isn't very strong, however, you and Issei are still beginners, I don't think you can finish off even a low-level demon. Issei, hey, that's offensive. Goku, I suppose you're partly right, but you're wrong about something. Rias, and where am I going wrong? Goku, I'm stronger than I look and you know it. As for Issei, he can use his sacred gear now. Rias, seriously, why didn't you tell me anything? Goku, I was planning to tell you, but you just started lecturing us. Rias, stop that, Issei, bring out your sacred gear. Issei, excited to show what he was capable of, said. Issei, let's go. At that moment, a red gauntlet appeared on Issei's left arm. Rias, I see, it's quite an interesting sacred gear. Now you must work hard to improve it. Issei, yes. Goku, and as for me, I almost have the key to using my power again. Rias, are you serious? Goku, yes, on several occasions I've been close to achieving it, but something's always missing, as if I need something specific to use it. I know the main thing is rage, but that's not enough. There's something I'm lacking. I think I just need to be under pressure like in a real battle, and that's it. But I have to try, and this is the perfect opportunity to do so. Rias, let's hope you succeed. If you master that power, you'll be very powerful, considering you almost managed to kill two rather strong fallen angels with it. Goku, that's right, I just need luck and maybe I'll catch him. Rias, very well, let's go. Aquino, okay, I've already prepared the teleportation circle. Right after saying that, a magic circle appeared surrounding all the clan members, taking them to a kind of abandoned warehouse. Aquino, it's here. Kaneko, what an unpleasant smell of blood. Goku, it's too unpleasant. Ria's rogue demons feed on humans, that's why it smells so much like blood here. Issei glanced to his side, almost dropping his dinner upon seeing a mutilated corpse. Issei, what the hell? At that moment a figure emerges from the shadows. Well, more food. Rias, I suppose it's time to explain a little. We all possess a piece, just like in chess. You even possess a piece that I gave you when I revived you. Issei, but what is our piece? Without giving them time to respond, the rogue demon attacked, but everyone moved. Goku grabbed Issei and they dodged the attack. Rias, Kiba. Kiba, yes. At that moment, the blonde boy steps forward and draws his sword, beginning to fight the demon. Rias, Kiba's piece is the horse, whose attribute is speed. At that moment, Kiba disappeared from everyone's sight with his speed. Goku, it's incredible. Rias, that's right, his weapon is the sword. Kiba cuts off the giant demon's arms, and just as he was about to step on it, Kaneko appeared, intercepting the demon's paw. Issei, Kaneko. Rias, don't worry, Kaneko's role is the rook. Her special attribute is an incredible amount of strength and endurance. Kaneko throws the demon's foot and sends it flying with a punch. Rias, that type of attack wouldn't even leave a scratch on him. Kaneko, how weak. Kaneko said while dusting herself off. Issei, how strong. Rias, and finally Aquino. Aquino, yes, President. Rias, Aquino's role is queen. She possesses all the abilities of a knight, bishop, and rook. The incredible vice president of the occult club Aquino, the demon struggles to his feet filled with rage. Aquino, ara, so you still have strength. In that case, I should use this attack level. Aquino said as she raised her hand, and a powerful lightning bolt struck the demon. Goku, everyone here is so strong, now I feel like an ant. The demon struggled to his feet again, causing Aquino to lick her lips and another lightning bolt to strike the demon. Seeing such an act gave Issei chills. Kiba, don't worry, the vice president is very kind to her allies. Rias, Aquino specializes in lightning magic attacks. Aquino, ara, it seems he's still alive. I'll leave the final blow to the president, Aquino said in a tone so sweet it was frightening. Issei, she's scary. Rias stood before the dying demon. Rias, do you have any last words? Demon K, kill me. Rias, fine, dust to dust. Rias said as she launched an attack that disintegrated the demon. Rias, okay, let's go back to the club for some tea. Goku, hey Rias, what are Issei and Mio's roles? Rias, pawn. The redhead replied simply, depressing Goku and Issei. Goku/Issei, why the weakest? Goku, wow, in the end I couldn't even fight, you guys are really strong. Goku said with one hand on his head. Rias, don't worry, they'll get stronger with time. Issei, I hope so. The next day, Rias had asked Issei and Goku to make a contract, telling Issei that if he succeeded she would touch his breasts, and Goku only went because he was bored. When they arrived at the place of the contract, they entered, and in a moment the smell of blood filled their nostrils. Goku, oh crap, here we go again. Advancing a little further, they came across a crucified person and a prayer written in blood that said, all who sin are slaves to sin. Issei, what the hell, what do we have here? I was expecting just one, but I won an even bigger prize, they're two sinful demons, said a white-haired man who appeared from behind the shadows. I am a priest, my name is Fried Zelzen, a pleasure, demons. Goku, damn, Rias told me about the priests, they're very dangerous, we need to get out of here fast. Fried, very well, now I'll take care of exorcising them. Issei, what the hell, how can you kill a human like that? Fried, it doesn't matter, you feed on human desires, right? If a human helps you, I'll kill them so they don't become corrupted any further. This is in the name of kindness, amen, the priest said as he kicked the corpse hard. Issei, you. Fried starts laughing maniacally at Goku and Issei's expressions. Fried, what's wrong, are you angry, you bucking demon? Goku, you better shut up already. Fried, well, it's time to kill you both. Arguing with one of those stupid bucking demons is making me angry. Fried said as he pulled a pistol and a sword from his jacket. Fried, who wants to be sliced and who wants to be Swiss cheese? Goku, rot in hell. Fried lunges at them both, shooting Issei in the leg and slashing Goku with his sword, who manages to block. Goku slash Issei, it hurts. Fried, what do you think of the light power that exterminates demons? Goku, it's crap. Fried starts laughing and lunges again with his sword and gun. However, before he can reach them, a girl gets in his way. Issei, Asia, don't hurt them, Father Fried. Fried, how do you two know each other? Asia, they helped me when I arrived here. Fried laughs louder. Fried, is this the forbidden friendship between demons and a nun? Asia is surprised by the statement. Asia, are they demons? Fried, that's right, this is the scum that walks the earth and they'll end up like that guy over there. As he says that, Fried points his gun at the man's corpse and Asia screams loudly when she sees it. Issei, is this the first time Asia has seen a corpse? Asia, and no way, Fried, we must eliminate them to finish our job. Return to your position and activate the trap. Despite the order, Asia did not move an inch from her place. Fried, hey kid, do you know what you're doing? Fried said with clear irritation. Asia, I know very well, Father Fried, please forgive us, they are good people. Fried, fed up with the situation, yells at Asia. Fried, you stupid nun, didn't they teach you that demons must be eliminated? Fried said as he grabbed Asia by the neck. Asia, that's not true, there are good people among the demons. Fried, there aren't any, you idiot. Asia, they are good people, killing like that is wrong, the Lord does not allow this. Fried hits Asia hard, sending her to the ground, then Fried unbuttons Asia's shirt. Fried, they told me I couldn't kill you, but as long as I don't, I can do whatever I want to you. Grape is one of the possibilities, Fried said in a perverse way while removing Asia's bra. Issei, stop, Issei shouted, exploding at the sight of the situation. Fried, that's right, first I have to kill you all, I won't do it quickly, I'll do it slowly. I still have to break my record. Fried lunged at them both, but in a moment Goku appeared in front of him, taking the sword with his bare hand. Fried, what the hell? Goku looked up, revealing his blue eyes as his hair stood on end. Goku, I will not forgive you. At that moment Goku's hair turned golden and his muscles increased slightly. Fried, what? Goku without hesitation breaks Fried's sword, surprising him. Fried, what? It's impossible that a filthy demon could touch a sacred weapon like it's nothing. Goku, now you've really made me angry. Fried pulls out his weapon and fires at Goku, but Goku simply catches the bullet with his hand. Fried, what? The spiky-haired boy quickly positions himself in front of Fried and attacks him with a kick that Fried blocks. However, he goes flying and crashes into the wall. Fried spits out some blood and recovers. Fried, bastard, Goku slowly approaches. Fried, I'll get my revenge for this humiliation later, demon. After saying those words, Fried disappears in a magic circle. Goku, damn it, he got away. The spiky-haired boy remembers that Issei and Asia were still there. Goku, Issei, Asia, are you alright? The worried son asked. Issei, yeah, I'm fine. Asia, me too. Goku, that's a relief. The brunette stared at Goku for a while. Issei, so that's what you and the president were talking about. Goku, it seems so, I finally got to use it again, but there's a problem. Issei, which one? Goku, it tires me out too much to use it. I don't think I can keep it on for much longer than 5 minutes. Issei, I see. Asia, Goku-san, why is your hair golden now? Goku, honestly, I don't know. I like to think of it as a special ability, but I don't really know what it is. Issei, it's a powerful transformation that Goku possesses. It's really cool. Goku is a little embarrassed by that. Goku, it's not that big of a deal, he said with one hand on his head. Issei, what are you saying? You finished that guy off with just one punch, you're really strong. Goku, well, if you put it that way. At that moment, a magic circle appeared in the middle of the room from which the occult club emerged. Rias, we're here. End of Chapter 5. Goku and DxD Part 6. When the occult club left the magic circle, Rias immediately realized that everything was under control. Rias, it seems we're a little late. Rias said as she observed the whole scene. Goku, you think so? The spiky-haired boy said with noticeable sarcasm in his tone. Rias got angry at the comment, but just then she noticed Goku's hair color. Goku, it took you a long time to realize, don't you think? Rias, come on, stop being so sarcastic. Rias said with a big pout on her face, while Goku chuckled under his breath. Akino, ara, it seems Goku used that thing again. As she spoke, Akino moved closer to Goku, making him somewhat uncomfortable. Akino, he looks more handsome like that. After saying that, Akino gives the spiky-haired boy a small lick on the cheek, making the hairs on his back stand on end when, luckily for him, Kaneko speaks. Kaneko, pervert. The dark-haired girl separates from the spiky-haired boy without first subtly touching his arm, causing a drop of sweat to form on Goku's face when Kiba speaks up. Kiba, hey Goku, why don't you stop using that thing? He thinks about it for a moment, then gives a nervous giggle and puts a hand behind his head. Goku, I don't know how to remove it, hee. The blonde man stares at him for a moment and pats his face. Kiba, you're beyond help. The golden-haired boy lets out another small, embarrassed giggle when suddenly his hair turns black again, surprising Goku. Goku, oh wow, it disappeared by itself. It must be because I ran out of time. Kiba, you'd better learn how to use that transformation or whatever it is of yours. Riaz interrupts the conversation to ask a question. Riaz, hey Goku, who were they fighting against? The spiky-haired guy turns around and points a finger at a wall. Goku, with the guy who's embedded there. Riaz turns her gaze back to where the jet-black hair was pointing. Riaz, Goku, there's nothing there. Goku glances quickly at the wall, realizing that what the redhead said was true. Goku, wow, he got away. The president slaps her face and assesses the damage to Issei. Riaz, okay, let's go. At that moment, Issei gets up with Asia, but Riaz looks at him sternly. Riaz, Issei, leave the girl alone. Issei, but proceed. Riaz interrupts him, shouting. Riaz, Issei. Let's go, I said. The brunette lowers his gaze, but Asia takes his hand. Asia, Issei, it's okay, I'll go back to the church. Issei tried to protest, but Asia squeezed his hand, letting him know that everything was going to be all right. The chestnut-haired man nods and walks with his head down to the others. When everyone had gathered, a magic circle appeared beneath them all and they disappeared. 2 days later. Issei was eating something at a shop. President Riaz had forbidden him from going to school until his injuries healed. While the chestnut-haired boy was lost in thought, he noticed a peculiar head of long blonde hair. Issei immediately stood up and shouted something loudly. Issei, Asia. The aforementioned turns her head and speaks as well. Asia, Issei. A few minutes later, Issei and Asia were sitting down, each with a hamburger. While Issei was sitting, he noticed that Asia wasn't even touching her food. Issei, hey Asia, aren't you going to start eating? Asia, hey Issei, aren't there any forks or anything here? The chestnut-haired man is a little surprised by the question and takes his hamburger. Issei, Asia, this is eaten with your hands like this. And proceeded to take a bite before the astonished gaze of the girl in front of him. Asia, do they really eat with their hands? Issei finishes swallowing and nods. Asia, I see, then let me wash my hands. Following that, Asia proceeds to take out a flask containing water, intriguing Issei. Issei, hey Asia, what's inside that bottle? Asia, holy waters. Issei, who was drinking some soda while listening, chokes on what he was drinking, and when he clears his throat, he speaks again. Issei, this Asia, here are some wet wipes, take them. Said the chestnut-haired man as he wiped the girl with a clean cloth. Asia thanks them for the gesture and cleans her hands, starting to eat and marveling at how good it tasted. When they finish eating, Asia notices a peculiar place. Asia, hey Issei, what is that place? The aforementioned person turns his gaze and replies. Issei, that's an arcade. The nun stares for a moment until Issei speaks. Issei, okay, let's go. As they both walk inside, Asia notices a machine with several plushies and presses her face against it, causing Issei to laugh nervously. Issei, do you want one? The brunette asked the blonde, who instantly walked away. Asia, no, it's not necessary, Issei. Asia says nervously. Issei, don't you like it? Asia, well, yes, but... Issei interrupts her and approaches the machine. Issei, okay, I'll get you one. After a couple of attempts, Issei manages to pull out a plushie and gives it to Asia, who is very excited about the gift. Asia, thank you, I'll take care of it and I'll keep it forever. Meanwhile, Issei stared at his wallet as he thought. Issei, half my money has vanished because of this good deed. This is brutal. Then Asia excitedly approaches another machine, while Issei continues watching with a bead of sweat on his brow. A few hours later, it was already getting dark and Issei and Asia were walking in a park. Issei, we played a lot today and I ran out of money. As they continued walking, Issei felt a sharp pain in his knee. Issei, Asia, let's sit down for a while, damn, I forgot that my wounds haven't healed yet. With that said, they both sat down on the nearest bench when Asia spoke worriedly. Asia, Issei has the wound from before not healed yet. The aforementioned person laughs a little and speaks sarcastically. Issei, it's not like he's going to heal with saliva. Asia crouches down and places her hands on Issei's knee, a green light beginning to emanate from them. Issei, she healed the child in the park with that same energy earlier. A few seconds later, Asia finishes and removes her hands. Issei, incredible, it doesn't hurt anymore. This must be your sacred gear, right? The blonde nods and speaks. Asia, this is a sacred gear that possesses the ability to heal wounds. Issa, that's great, your sacred gear can heal even a demon like me. After the comment, Asia lowers her head as tears begin to well up in her eyes. Asia, oh sorry, she said, wiping away her tears with her hands. Issa, sorry if I said anything wrong. Asia, no Issa, you didn't say anything bad. It's just that sometimes I remember things after I was born. My parents abandoned me. The church orphanage took me in. I was 8 years old when I received this power. After the church realized my power, they called me a saint and worshipped me. I used this power to heal sick or injured people. Rumors started spreading everywhere, so people began coming more frequently asking for help, and the church kept me under close protection and treated me well. I am truly grateful for the power God gave me to heal people and animals, which is why my heart was filled with joy at being able to help others. But since I was called a saint, people started acting differently and I began to feel somewhat lonely. But one day I met a demon mortally wounded by an exorcist, and I used my power to save that demon. But then that demon killed the exorcist and fled. People called me a saint and worshipped me, but from that day on they called me a demon girl. After that, I was expelled from the church. Then a fallen angel found me and took me in all this. Issei, I've always had a dream. To have friends and go shopping together like normal people, to have normal conversations, to be with my friends so I can. At this point, Asia's tears had begun to flow again with greater intensity when suddenly Issei abruptly interrupted her. Issei, then let me be your friend. Asia was stunned by the words. Asia, will you be my friend? Issei, we're already friends. We've talked together and even played together. We can go shopping together. Asia fell silent as her tears flowed even more freely, only this time they were tears of happiness. Asia, Issei. At that moment, a voice interrupted the moment. That's not going to be possible. They both glanced quickly and Issei immediately realized who it was. Issei, you Yuma. My name is Rainier. The girl said irritably. Rainier, you were supposed to be dead, but it seems you were revived as a nasty demon. The dark-haired woman finished with a noticeable tone of displeasure as she stepped down to the ground. Asia, our Rainier. Issei, that's right, she's a fallen angel. Rainier, come on Asia, don't waste my time. The aforementioned woman clings to Issei's arm, refusing the request. Asia, I don't want to help them kill people. The fallen angel sighs in annoyance at the response and proceeds to speak. Rainier, you are essential to us, did you know? Issei gathers his courage and raises his voice. Issei, didn't you hear her? She doesn't want to go with you, shouted the chestnut tree with great courage. Issei, what do you plan to do with her when you take her away? Rainier completely ignores the question and speaks in a sweet tone. Rainier, I still remember our date. You know you made me very happy that day. Issei interrupts her by shouting even louder. Issei, stop playing with me. Suddenly, Rainier's expression changes to a somber one. Rainier, nothing would have happened if you had died, but you had to become a filthy, disgusting demon, so how about I kill you again? As she finishes speaking, the fallen angel generates a spear of light in her hand. Issei, it's that spear of light again, I'll have to make the first move. Without waiting any longer, Issei takes out his sacred gear, causing Rainier to stop. Issei, Asia, stay back. Rainier, last time I killed you because your sacred gear posed a danger according to the higher-ups. The dark-haired woman pauses briefly and gives a mocking smile. Rainier, but it seems those above were wrong. At that point she was struggling not to burst out laughing. Rainier, that sacred gear is called Hand of Dragon, Dragon's Hand for the guys. Even with that name it's nothing special. Issei gets a little angry about this. Rainier, although only for a short time, the wielder has the ability to multiply their power, but even if your power increases tenfold, no, 100 times, you still won't be able to defeat me. Seriously, that suits someone as weak as you. After saying that, Rainier began to laugh loudly while Issei's anger gradually increased. Issei, well, it's better than nothing, activate sacred gear. After shouting that, the green gem on the gauntlet lit up, indicating that it had multiplied its power, and then it launched its attack against the fall. However, before his fist reached its target, the spear of light was already piercing Issei's abdomen, causing him to fall to the ground. Rainier, even with that sacred gear, he's so weak the spear pierced him like it was nothing, as expected from a low-class demon. No, he's worse than a low-class demon. Rainier finished speaking with disappointment. Asia quickly began to heal the wound, while Issei gritted his teeth in helplessness and anger. Rainier, without waiting any longer, spoke to Asia. Rainier, Asia, come with me. If you refuse, I will kill this demon. He said as he menacingly generated a spear of light in his hand once more. Asia lowers her head and stands up. I say, Asia, wait, said the brunette as he stood up with some effort. Asia, Issei, I'll be fine. Rainier dissolves the spear of light and approaches them both. Rainier, okay, let's go. Asia starts walking, but suddenly a voice is heard saying boost several times. They both look at Issei, who was looking at the ground. Issei, damn it, I've trained hard with Goku, I can't fall so easily. Suddenly Issei's gauntlet glowed brightly, forcing everyone to close their eyes. When they opened them, the gauntlet looked different. This time it was a full gauntlet that covered his fingers and entire forearm. It also had a much more aggressive appearance that surprised everyone. The chestnut-haired man only smiles to himself as he raises his head with conviction and launches himself into Rainier, but this time with more speed. The aforementioned did not have time to generate another spear of light, since Issei arrived and gave her a powerful punch to the jaw that sent her to the ground. Issei is surprised and shows a wide smile as he raises his new gauntlet, and it says boost again. Rainier gets up surprised and enraged by the attack and generates another spear of light. Rainier, damn it. The spear of light heads towards Issei, who quickly puts the gauntlet in the path of the attack, effectively blocking it, and runs towards Rainier as his gauntlet says boost again, and his speed increases even more. When he reached his target this time much faster, the brunette punched her in the abdomen with everything he had, followed by a kick that wasn't as powerful but still inflicted some damage. Rainier separates again, holding her abdomen as she glares at Issei with great hatred. This time when she recovers, Rainier forms 5 spears of light in the air and throws them towards the chestnut tree. Issei, damn it, I won't be able to block so many. What? In a failed attempt, the chestnut-haired man makes an effort to get out of the way, but still 2 of the 5 spears of light hit him, one in the right side of his abdomen and the other in his right leg, causing the chestnut-haired man to fall to the ground screaming in pain. Asia quickly runs towards Issei, who is writhing in pain, making Rainier laugh. Rainier, what do you think of that, you stupid demon? It doesn't matter that your stupid sacred gear has evolved, you're still no match for me, didn't I tell you that before? Asia was healing Issei's wounds again, but Rainier abruptly spoke to him. Rainier, Asia, stop healing that filthy demon. Asia, be-but. Rainier, no buts, get away from him now. Asia lowers her head and backs away. Although they weren't completely healed, Issei's wounds were no longer fatal, so for the time being he should be fine. Rainier, now I'm going to kill you, you stupid bastard. Rainier begins to form 5 more energy spears with the goal of killing Issei, but Asia gets in the way. Asia, please don't kill him. Asia pleaded with tears in her eyes, trying to save her friend. Rainier looks at her sternly, frightening the redhead. Rainier, Asia, get out of the way now. The nun hesitated a little but didn't move out of the way, looking at Rainier in a challenging manner, as if telling her to dare to attack. Rainier loses her temper and screams, exploding. Rainier, don't you understand, you stupid damn nun? Get out of my way now. Asia got scared but still didn't give up and stood in front of Issei. Rainier explodes. Rainier then die. The fallen was about to lower her hand to make the spears descend and kill both boys, however, a person interrupts, saving them both. It was Goku, who had launched himself into the air and punched Rainier so hard in the cheek that it sent her crashing to the ground as the spears of light scattered. Asia, Goku. Asia was relieved that her other friend had appeared at the right moment to save them, otherwise Rainier would have killed them both. When Goku fell to the ground, he ran towards Issei and Asia. Goku, Asia, how is Issei? Asia responds quickly to calm the spiky-haired boy. Asia is out of danger. Goku glanced around cautiously, noticing that Issei had apparently fainted, and nodded as he turned to where Rainier was, who had just gotten up and recognized him. Rainier, why you, it's you. Goku bared his teeth in fury and slowly approached Rainier. Goku, you damn girl. Goku's hair flashed gold, startling the dark-haired girl, who quickly backed away. Rainier, don't think this is the end. After saying those words, a magic circle formed beneath Rainier, making her disappear and enraging Goku even more. Goku, he got away. The raven-haired boy shakes his head and quickly turns around to see Asia finishing healing Issei. Goku, alright, we should get out of here. I'll probably be back with reinforcements. Asia looks at him and nods slowly as she finishes healing the chestnut-haired man. End of Chapter 6. Goku and DxD Part 7. Without waiting any longer, Goku lifted Issei from the ground and placed him on his right shoulder while turning to look at Asia. Goku, let's go to my house, we'll be safe there for now. The blonde nods and begins to follow the raven-haired man to his house where they once arrived. Goku lays Issei down on a sofa and goes to the kitchen. Meanwhile, Asia was admiring the spiky-haired man's house. It was a typical house by Japanese standards. A decent kitchen with a dining area for 4, a guest bathroom on the first floor, and a living room large enough for 2 sofas, a table, and a television. On the second floor, there was simply a hallway leading to 4 doors. 3 of them led to bedrooms, and the other to a bathroom larger than the one on the first floor, not too big, but not too small either, just big enough for 3 or 4 people to live comfortably. A few minutes after leaving, the spiky-haired boy returns with 2 cups in his hands, places one of them on the small table between the 2 sofas in the living room, and sits down next to Issei, who is still lying down. After a few seconds of silence, the raven-haired man decides to speak when he sees that Asia just stares at the cup. Goku, it's hot chocolate, let it cool down a little before drinking it. Asia, thank you, Goku-san. Goku, just call me Goku. The spiky-haired boy said with a small smile. The blonde nods and takes the cup in her hands to begin drinking while a comfortable silence remains between them. After finishing her cup, Asia looked at the spiky-haired boy who was staring at the ceiling with both hands behind his head. Asia, Goku, do you live alone? The raven-haired man looks at her and gives a wistful, lopsided smile. Goku, no, actually this house belongs to Issei's parents. We live together, although they're out today. The blonde was surprised by this and decided to investigate further out of curiosity, seeing the sad smile Goku was wearing. Asia, and where are your parents? The spiky-haired man closed his eyes this time as he wiped away his smile. Goku, my father, I don't really remember much about him. I only know that my mother said he died in a car accident when I was about 4 years old. But when I asked her about him, she always changed the subject or ignored my question, so I stopped asking after a couple of tries. Asia covers her mouth in astonishment as she quickly lowers her head in embarrassment. Asia, I am sorry, I didn't know. Goku, it's fine, it doesn't affect me much anyway. After all, I don't even remember his face. All I know is that his name was Bardock. The blonde nods slowly after raising her head again and staring at the dark-haired man. Just as I was about to ask, Goku interrupted. Goku, if you're going to ask about my mother, well, she's dead too. Asia inhaled in surprise upon learning that the spiky-haired boy had no parents and remained silent. The raven-haired man kept his eyes closed as an awkward silence fell. The nun looked at the floor again, searching for something to talk about to break the silence, when suddenly Issei started moving on the sofa and saying something. Issei, how uncomfortable my bed is. After opening his eyes, the raven-haired man sat up and realized he wasn't in his bed. Issei, Goku, where are we? The ebony-haired man looks at him and answers the question. Goku, we're home. I carried you here after you fainted from the pain and blood loss. Issei, I see. Meanwhile, the brunette continued rubbing his eyes to clear his vision. He looks at Asia and smiles. Issei, hihi, I'm glad you're okay, Asia-chan. The aforementioned woman smiles and takes the chestnut-haired man's hands. Asia, thank you so much, Issei-kun, you saved me. Issei blushed as a trickle of blood trickled from his nose. Goku, noticing this, hits him on the head with the palm of his hand. Issei, hey, what's that about? Said the chestnut-haired man as he rubbed his head and wiped his nose. Goku, 2 reasons. The first is because he's a pervert and the second is because he's irresponsible. You'd better not complain about it because what Risa's will do when she finds out will be worse. So get ready to suffer. Issei squirmed as he recalled his actions, already savoring what awaited him when the president found out. Issei, well, I think I'd better get ready. Goku smiles slightly and places a hand on the raven-haired man's head, stroking his hair. Goku, just don't do it again. If it weren't for me, you'd be dead, you know. I only care about you. The same goes for Ria's. The chestnut-haired boy lowered his head as Goku continued to stroke him. Issei, you're like an older brother to me, you know, Issei said, smiling at the spiky-haired boy. Goku, well, you could say I'm the closest thing you have to that. Goku removes his hand from his friend's head and looks back at Asia. Goku, alright Asia, what do you plan to do? If I'm not mistaken, you have nowhere to go now, and if you go back to the church, you're bound to regret what will happen to you. The blonde girl thinks about it for a moment until Issei interrupts. Issei, Asia, do you want to stay at my house? I don't think my parents will mind and we have a spare room. Asia, I don't want to be a bother to you, Issei-kun, I'll just come back and… The chestnut tree interrupts again, but this time abruptly. Issei, absolutely not. You know very well that if you go back to that place they'll kill you, there's no discussion, you're staying here. The blonde nods nervously at the brusqueness of the brunette. Issei, sorry, I just don't want you to go back to that place. Goku decides to speak at this point. Goku, you know Rias won't agree with this, right? The chestnut tree, remembering what its president had told it about associating with the church, lowers its head but raises it again. Issei, it doesn't matter if I have to endure a punishment worse than hell itself, I will endure it, but I won't let Asia return to that place. Goku smiled and looked at the ceiling as he closed his eyes. Goku, okay, if that's your decision, I'll respect it. Issei smiles and gets up to show Asia her new room, leaving Goku in the living room. Goku, hihi, Issei is maturing, he just needs to stop being such a pervert. Goku said as a drop of sweat ran down his cheek. The next day, when the brunette's parents arrived that night, Issei and Goku had explained that Asia had nowhere to live and was a friend who needed help. Therefore, both adults agreed to help her and let her live in their house. When classes were over, Goku and Issei went to the occult research club to explain the situation to Rias. Rias, what do you think you're doing? I already made it clear you shouldn't associate with that girl, now you'll most likely have fallen angels after you. Goku, I know, but you know perfectly well that we couldn't just leave her there with those degenerates, they would kill her if we let her go back. Rias leans back in her chair, rubbing her temples. Rias, you know what, fine, but don't say I didn't warn you. You'll most likely run into that fallen angel again. You won't give up so easily, especially knowing the sacred gear that girl has. On another note, what was that about Issei's sacred gear evolving? Issei, oh yeah, about that. When we were fighting, he just changed his appearance. When he did, I also suddenly became much stronger. Rias, interesting, show it to me. The chestnut-haired man nods and complies with Rias' request, taking out his new gauntlet. The redhead is surprised by the appearance of the sacred gear and analyzes it for a couple of seconds. Rias, it's quite interesting, although it seems very strange to me. From what I read, Hand of Dragon doesn't have evolution, so it seems yours is special or something like that. Issei, really? Well, that's great, that means I can become stronger. Issei said, puffing out his chest with pride. Goku, changing the subject, I was thinking that since Issei's gauntlet evolved and is now stronger, I should increase my training. Goku said with a smile that sent chills down Issei's spine. Issei, I think the training we have now is fine, you know. Goku, not at all, I'll increase the intensity of our exercise. After all, you need to get stronger quickly. The chestnut-haired man sighs in defeat and collapses heavily onto the sofa. Goku, well, we should go now, it's getting late. Issei, okay, said the brunette, getting up from the comfortable sofa. Issei, see you, President Kiba, Kaneko, and Akino. Goku, goodbye, guys. Rias, be careful. When both boys left, Rias became serious and straightened up in her seat. Rias, Kiba, Kaneko, I want you to follow them and make sure they don't do anything stupid. Knowing the fallen angels, they've probably already captured the girl, and with how impulsive those two are, they'll surely go off to try and save her. Kiba, I understand. If they try anything, we'll stop them. With that said, they both set out to fulfill their task. When Goku and Issei arrived home, they noticed something. Asia wasn't there. Issei, Asia, where are you? The chestnut-haired boy said as he quickly climbed the stairs with Goku behind him. When they opened the door to Asia's room, they found nothing, absolutely nothing. There was nobody in that room. Issei, damn it. Both boys quickly run downstairs to find Kiba and Kaneko waiting for them. Issei, guys, Asia has. Kiba interrupts Issei. Kiba, Issei, don't try to find her. It would be suicide to enter the lair of the fallen angels just to look for that girl. Issei, what are you saying, Kiba? We have to go save her. This time Kaneko interrupts. Kaneko, the president ordered us to stop you if you try to save her, so it's best if you don't try anything. Issei grits his teeth and activates his sacred gear, intending to strike Kiba and run off to save Asia, but Goku places a hand on his shoulder. When the chestnut-haired boy looked up, intending to complain, he stopped when he saw Goku's expression. The spiky-haired boy had blue eyes but a serious expression, telling her to calm down. Issei sighs and lowers his head, deactivating his sacred gear and walking to his room, slamming the door behind him. Goku sighs heavily and his eyes turn black again, looking at the two people in front of him. Goku, okay, you can go. They both nod and Kiba speaks. Kiba, I'll leave it to you. Goku nods and watches him leave, letting out another sigh as the door closes. Goku, this is shit. End of Chapter 7. Goku and DxD Part 8. It was morning and the sun's rays woke Goku up. With a yawn, she got up and changed, still thinking about what had happened yesterday. Although it saddened him, he knew he couldn't do anything reckless. Ria's orders were clear and he couldn't disobey. When she changed, she opened her door and knocked on Issei's to wake him up. When she waited a few minutes and received no response, she opened the door and found Issei lying on the bed. You look pathetic, you know that. Goku's attempt to ease the tension didn't work as Issei looked at him and turned away. Come on, it's not my fault, you know. They're Ria's orders and we can't disobey. This time, Issei had put the pillow over his head in an attempt not to hear. Goku frowned, irritated by Issei's attitude. She closed the door to make him think she had left and stealthily approached the bed. When he was next to the chestnut-haired boy, he took the pillow from him and immediately yelled at him in hatred. Get up. Issei almost jumps out of bed and gets angry. What do you think you're doing, idiot? Goku laughs at the attitude. Wake up now, get changed, we have to go to school. Issei was left grumbling and saying things about stupid black-haired palm-headed people. Goku closed the door behind him and went downstairs with breakfast already prepared by the brunette's parents. Where are Issei and Asia? The boy's mother asked as she placed a plate in front of her husband. The alarm didn't wake Issei, so he's getting changed now and Asia had something to do early today. He lied, but he clearly wasn't going to say that Asia had been kidnapped by fallen angels since that's why Issei was angry with him. I see, let's hope it doesn't take too long, the mother mentioned as she sat down. Yes, I hope so too. Shortly after, Issei arrived and didn't say anything other than good morning when he got out and goodbye when they left. Rias and Issei were arguing again at the occult research club. Please let me go and save her, Issei shouted while Rias was massaging her temples. Absolutely not. Your actions could have a major impact on the relationship between demons and fallen angels. If you enter their territory without reason, you could spark a war between the two factions, but Asia is my friend. Issei spoke again. He wasn't about to give up easily. Don't make me say this over and over again. Rias lost her temper, lunged at Issei and stared him down. Why don't you understand? If I let you go, they'll surely kill you. I don't want to see you die again. At this point, their faces were centimeters from touching and Issei had some blood running down his nose. Resisting the temptation, Issei broke free from his grip and shouted again. She said something about a ceremony today. Asia might be sacrificed. I can't allow it. Senpai, your nose is bleeding. You're not convincing like that. Kaneko said, implying that he seemed like a pervert. It won't do any good to beg and cry. Akino contributed while Rias turned around. Ceremony, we have something very important to do. I'm going out with Akino for a while. Rias started walking towards the exit with Akino. Madam President, we're not finished yet. As she said this, Kaneko was wiping the blood from her nose with a cloth. Rias approached again and placed a finger to his mouth to silence him. Before we go, I'll tell you something in advance. The way you see the pawn is as a weak piece, right? At this point, blood began to flow again from Issei's nose as he tried to walk away. Isn't it the weakest piece? Rias approached again and replied. That's a misunderstanding. A pawn possesses a special ability that other pieces don't. Promotion. Within the demonic pieces, it's currently the same as in regular chess. Therefore, the pawn can transform into any piece except the king when it enters enemy territory. As I've been saying, the most important thing is the heart of the enemy territory. That's where you can take the step and transform into any piece except the king to increase your power. For the moment, the church would be a good example of enemy territory. The information surprised Issei and Goku. So if I get a promotion, I can have the same power as Akino, who is a queen, right? Issei asked, excited to know that he could become so strong. In theory, but the queen is the most powerful piece, which would put a huge strain on your current body, so you can't do something like that yet. Issei's chest deflated. Goku and you each have 4 pawn pieces. If you try to turn into a knight and rook, you might be able to hold out. I see. Goku said, processing the information. The sacred gear is activated by your willpower. The stronger your willpower, the more powerful your sacred gear is when you call upon it. Both were mentally noting down the valuable information. As a final point to remember, even a pawn can defeat a king. That's how chess works. They can become stronger. Issei nodded excitedly and Rias started to leave with Akino. Juyudo, I'm leaving them in your care. The aforementioned nodded and the girls left. Issei, are you really going? You could die. I have to do it. Asia is my friend even if she's suicidal. I need to save her. If you don't have a plan and you die, no one will be able to save her. Issei flew into a rage. So what do you want me to do? Kiba grinned and pointed at himself with his thumb. I'll go too, you're my partner. If I see an ally heading to their death, I can't just stand by and do nothing. Kiba's attitude had now become serious. I detest fallen angels and exorcists, or rather I hate them. Even the president said so, right? The church for us is the best example of enemy territory, which means that if you go deep into the church, then you would already fulfill the requirements for ascension. The same applies to Goku. Issei noticed this detail and was surprised. From the president's words, she apparently approved it, although she clearly wants me to go with you. So that's what he meant by leaving it in your hands. Goku mentioned. That's right anyway, if she didn't approve, we'd have to keep you, even if we had to tie you up. Supporting his words, Kiba was holding a rope in his hands, the origin of which was unknown. Ignoring Kiba's words, Issei was smiling with his hands clasped together. President, you're so kind. Kaneko appeared with a box of tissues, so Issei could dry himself again while saying, I'll go too. The statement surprised Issei, who was pleased. I'd blame myself if you went alone and died. Issei launched himself at Kaneko in a hug. Kaneko-chan, I'm so touched. The albino grabbed his arm and threw him back, causing Issei to crash into the wall. You're hugging too tight. Goku and Kiba were laughing at the situation. The black-haired boy helped Issei to his feet. Well, since the president approved it, I'll go too. Goku said with a smile. Gee guys. Issei was on the verge of tears and lunged at Kaneko again. As expected, he ended up against the wall again. And elsewhere, finally you will be mine, said Reincarnation while Asia was crucified on a cross. Outside of that place, the team of demons was at the entrance of the church. I have such a ridiculous shiver, Issei thought as he rubbed his arms. Meanwhile, Kiba was going over the plan with a map of the church. The church isn't very big, this is the sanctuary and these are the rooms, he said while pointing to two places. This shrine is very suspicious, don't you think? Kiba mentioned this as Issei returned and replied. Because you said so, Kiba's gaze darkened. Even now, rogue exorcists and fallen angels destroy holy sites. These acts of blasphemy against the God who created them are quite out of place, if you ask me, mainly because they use places like this church for dirty things, just like what they do to Asia. They also make sacrifices and kill for fun. Those bastards. Goku said with clear disgust. Using innocent people for things like that was unforgivable. Kiba continued explaining. From the entrance to the center isn't difficult to get there, the problem is that there will definitely be an exorcist at the sanctuary. Kaneko finished Kiba's words. Exactly, we won't be able to enter the ceremonial hall so easily. As you know, exorcists use sacred weapons that are especially harmful to us demons. Issei felt a chill as he remembered when Fried shot him. Well, we need to start moving before they discover us. We have the element of surprise on our side. Kiba immediately generated a sword and cut the lock on the main door, and in that way everyone entered and began to climb the stairs. Quick, we must have been detected the moment we entered the church, so keep moving. They all nodded and continued running. When they arrived at the center, they were surprised. There's nobody here, Issei said, clearly confused. Don't let your guard down, there's definitely someone here. You wouldn't leave this place unprotected. Shortly afterwards, Kaneko pointed to a column. It's there. Followed by the words, someone came out of the column. Excellent work. When he finally left, they were able to see Fried again. Hello. What a nostalgic reunion, don't you think? Issei recognized him immediately. Second-class priest. Fried's expression changed to a grim one. Never before has a demon encountered me twice, because I am extremely strong and defeat them on the first try, but thanks to you my reputation has been damaged. This drives me crazy. Now he started to scream. That's why I'll kill you right now, you filthy demons. You all came here to save that stupid nun, didn't you? Death would be best for a bore like her who even cures demons. Issei and Goku got angry. You have 10 seconds to tell us where it is. Goku said, his head bowed. Fried was a little scared, remembering what had happened, but he didn't back down. And if I don't, what will you do? Goku looked up and glared at him with threatening eyes. I'll tear you to pieces. Now Fried was definitely scared, so he decided to make the first attack. He pulled out his pistol and fired multiple shots at the group who moved to the sides. Since I know you're going to die here, I'll tell you something. Under this altar there are stairs that lead to the ceremony room. Kiba laughed. You're really confident, aren't you? Don't underestimate us. Issei mentioned this while taking out his sacred gear. Kaneko grabbed one of the large benches and threw it at the priest. You're going to get crushed. Immediately, Fried cut the furniture in two. The same trick won't work twice. He scoffed, but he didn't have much time for that because Kiba was already in front of him, slashing with his sword. Fried almost blocked her. Foolish demon. Fried drew his weapon and fired at Kiba, who backed away and began dodging the bullets. Dance, dance, Fried said while having fun making Yuyudo run. A bullet was about to hit, and then Kaneko stepped in front and hit him in the head. Kaneko, Issei shouted worriedly. Some smoke was coming from Kaneko's forehead. It hurt a little, she said while stroking her forehead. You're quite resilient for being so small, she said while laughing. Little. Kaneko placed her hands on her chest and began throwing every piece of furniture she could find at Fried. Wow, I hit a sensitive spot. Fried was cutting the furniture while still laughing when Kiba appeared behind him. You'll be in trouble if you forget about me. In this way their swords clashed and a struggle began. Not bad, you're quite strong, Kiba said as he continued pushing. You're a horse, I see, Fried distanced himself. This is perfect, it's been a while since I've had a good fight. I'll tear you to pieces. He lunged at Kiba again and another struggle ensued. Then I think I need to get serious. In this way a black aura began to emanate from Kiba's sword and enveloped Fried's holy sword, devouring it. What the hell? Kiba smiled. Holy Eraser, it's a demonic sword that absorbs light. Fried gritted his teeth. Damn, you're a sacred gear user too. Fried cursed under his breath. Damn, that sword was expensive. While the priest lamented, Issei had his chance. Now it's my turn. Issei's gauntlet glowed. Tower ascend. Issei ascended and headed towards Fried, who began shooting at him, but the bullets ricocheted. Damn it, he's a pawn, even holy bullets bounce off. When he was close enough, Issei crouched down. Another tower feature, incredible strength. With all his strength, he stood up and punched Fried in the chin. Fried got up from the ground but took advantage of this and kicked Issei, who blocked it with his gauntlet. When he fell to the ground, Fried stepped back and rubbed his chin. What the hell am I doing? Getting beaten up by a second-rate demon? You've got to be kidding me. Feeling pressured, Fried dropped the magazine from his weapon. When it hit the ground, it exploded in a blinding light, indicating that it was a flashbang. When they could see clearly, Fried was standing on a window. Your name is Issei, right? Remember this because I'll return the favor to you too. He said this while pointing at Goku, then he climbed out the window. Damn it, don't run away. Issei, leave him alone, we have something else to do. Issei remembered the reason they were there and nodded. Meanwhile, Kaneko and Goku lifted the altar, revealing a staircase. They're in there, I can smell people underneath, Kaneko mentioned while pointing. In that way, they all went down the stairs in silence, and at the end they found a door. There are probably many fallen angels and exorcists, be careful. They all nodded and Goku kicked the door, sending it flying. Welcome, demons, said a man in front of a group of fallen angels and exorcists. It seems they were expecting us, Goku said as he observed the difficult situation. Issei saw Asia crucified, I will reign before the cross. End of Chapter 8. Goku and DxD Part 9. Asia, who had been sitting with her head down, wearily raised her gaze. Issei, Goku. Issei answered the call. We've come to save you, don't worry, Reiner spoke to interrupt the moment. Wow, this is a very warm gathering, but it's too late. With a mocking tone that enraged Issei and Goku. The ceremony is about to end. With that said, the fallen one touched her chest, revealing a magic circle. When she did this, a circle identical to the one Reiner had began to glow on Asia's chest, making her scream in heart-wrenching pain. Asia, without wanting to waste any more time, Goku launched himself against the multitude of fallen angels to reach Asia. I don't have time to waste with you guys. With a cry of rage, he struck left and right anyone who crossed his path. Attacking from behind, an exorcist leaped at Goku with his light sword raised high, but was stopped by Issei, who punched him with his gauntlet, still feeling the effects of the tower ascent. Both boys nodded to each other and began to move forward, covering each other's backs. At that point, Kiba and Kaneko entered the battle to help. Don't worry about it, we'll take care of it, Kiba said as he blocked a sword and kicked the exorcist's exposed abdomen. Issei and Goku nodded and made their way through, leaving the exorcists to Kiba and Kaneko. When they reached the altar, an orb of light emerged from Asia's chest, indicating that it was her sacred gear and headed towards Reiner. Seeing this, Goku decided to prevent it and tried to take the sphere, but he failed and fell to the ground, watching helplessly as Reiner took the orb and placed it on her chest. This is the power I've longed for. With this, I will be invincible. The fallen angel was celebrating when the orb entered her body. Meanwhile, Goku got up and stood next to Issei, realizing that they would have to fight. Issei, take Asia de la Cruz, I'll take care of her. Issei nodded and went to the cross to take his friend down. Knowing that this battle wouldn't be easy, the spiky-haired man did the most logical thing, horseback riding. He shouted as his pawn piece was transformed into a knight, granting him greater speed. Goku decided to make the first move, knowing he had the advantage in speed and wanted to land the first blow while Reiner was still getting used to her new power. With that, he advanced with everything he had towards the fallen. Before he arrived, Reiner formed a spear of light and launched it straight at his head. The spiky-haired boy narrowly dodged, ducking, placing his arms on the ground like a slingshot, and quickly extending them to kick Reiner in the chin. Reiner rose into the air and stopped her flight with her wings. Meanwhile, Issei had climbed down from the cross to Asia and was on the ground next to her. Asia-chan, don't worry, you'll be fine. Seeing this, Reiner decided to interrupt the event. It's useless. When the sacred gear is removed from a user, they die. The words had shocked both Issei and Goku, who became even more enraged than before. I'm going to kill you. In a somber manner, Issei stood up and glared at her angrily, to which Reiner responded by mocking him. Who you? Don't make me laugh, I have a sacred gear now. A low-class demon like you won't be able to scratch me in my current state. Reiner decided to rub salt in old wounds and brought up the subject again. You know, I really enjoyed our date. I was your first girlfriend after all. Reiner's gaze began sweetly and gradually darkened. Seeing your innocent look, thinking I really loved you was so funny. It ended with a maniacal laugh, reminiscent of the laugh Freed made when he was in his prime. Issei's gaze darkened even more and he clenched his teeth and fists. And I had decided that I would value you more than anything. Holding back his fury, tears threatened to fall as he spoke, overwhelmed by the feeling of being betrayed. And you did, even when those thugs tried to intimidate me, you stepped in and took the hit for me. It was really sweet of you. In a mocking tone, Reiner continued speaking. Do you know I was pretending to be weak because your scared face was so funny? That scared face is the best your stupid, ugly face can do. Laughing out loud, Reiner covered her mouth to try and stifle her laughter. Issei, unable to contain his rage any longer, was about to launch an attack with everything he had, but was interrupted by Kiba. Guys, it's really hard to fight against so many exorcists, we have to leave now. He said as he looked pressured by the numbers. The chestnut-haired man clicked his tongue and took Asia, deciding to get her out of there. Goku screamed. Kiba opened way for Issei to come out. The aforementioned nodded and began to clear a path as best they could. Issei grabbed Asia and began running towards the exit. I won't allow it. Reiner formed a spear of light and threw it at the chestnut tree's back. Goku, seeing this, did the unthinkable. He jumped up, took the spear of light in his bare hand, and threw it to the other side. Falling to the ground, groaning in pain, he looked at his hand and the severe burn on it, then decided to ignore it given the current situation and looked at Reiner. I'm the one who won't allow it. Taking a fighting stance, Goku decided to attack. Taking a powerful step to propel himself forward, he jumped high enough to be level with the fallen angel, prepared a punch, and slammed his fist into the fallen angel's face. The blow, as expected, hit hard and threw Reiner back to the ground with force, leaving her in ruins. Goku landed on his feet and turned around to see how his friends were doing. She realized that Kiba and Kaneko were under too much pressure and decided to help. With his enhanced speed, he kicked one of the exorcists in the back, undoubtedly breaking something, and then delivered a left hook to another, sending him flying upwards. Issei had left Asia on one of the benches in the church and looked at her. Don't worry, Asia, I'll get your sacred gear back. Activating his sacred gear, Issei prepared to return to the room but was stopped by a hand that held him. He looked back and Asia was holding him up with what little strength she had left. Issei-san, even if it was for a short time, I became your friend and Goku's. I was very happy. Really. The chestnut-haired man took her hands and squeezed them comfortingly. Asia, look, these are the photos we took. He said as he pulled out of one of his pockets a photo they had taken when they met. The action caused Asia to barely smile. If I'm reborn, would you let me be your friend again? With those last words, the blonde nun closed her eyes, indicating that she had died. The chestnut-haired man stared in disbelief, then his tears began to flow uncontrollably as he screamed at the ceiling. Why did it have to be this way? Why did he have to die? At this point, Goku had arrived along with Kiba and Kaneko, and they all watched sadly as their friend cried for the loss of Asia. Hey God, you're there, right? Don't take Asia's life, I beg you. The spectators were surprised because Issei, being a demon, was praying to God. She just wanted friends, don't take her away, I beg you. Reiner emerged from the underground chamber, completely healed and mocked. Seriously, a demon praying to God in a church. Those present turned around, surprised that he was perfectly fine after receiving such a blow from Goku. Look at this, that blow that piece of trash gave me is completely healed. I'm invincible with this power, isn't it wonderful? Issei's expression turned grim and he stood up with his head bowed. She just wanted a normal life. But you. It would be impossible. Reiner interrupted in the middle of the prayer. Those with supernatural powers are rejected by humans. Those with God-given power are persecuted and hunted like animals by humans. Then I will protect her. Reiner interrupted again in a mocking manner. But you can't anymore, she's dead. Ending with a burst of laughter that increasingly enraged those present. I know that. With a dangerous tone, Issei began to clench his fists tighter and tighter, finishing with a loud shout. Curse. As Issei screamed while unconsciously releasing his power, his gauntlet began to glow with an intense green as a voice emanated from it. Dragon Booster. With the sudden power boost, Issei lunged at Reiner with a punch. But unfortunately, the fallen angel easily dodged because Issei wasn't very fast and kicked him in the abdomen with her knee, causing Issei to release the air from his lungs and fall to the ground, clutching the affected area. Shortly afterwards, he got up and wiped away the little saliva that had come out of his mouth with the blow. You're so pathetic, Reiner said mockingly with one hand over her mouth, trying to hold back her laughter. With another attempt, Issei launched another attack, this time faster, but it still failed to connect because Reiner had moved out of range with her wings. Taking advantage of Issei's instability and his inability to dodge, she launched two spears of light that struck both his legs, causing him to fall to the ground with a cry of pain. Just when they thought he would stay there, Ise pulled the spears from his feet with both hands, leaving his right hand burned and his gauntlet marked. As he tried to get up, he coughed up a worrying amount of blood and fell back to the ground, supporting himself with his arms as he continued to spit blood. Even as a low-class demon, you managed to pull out my light spears. I must congratulate you on that, but you can no longer fight. Light is incredibly damaging to demons, and this effect is only amplified in low-class demons like yourself. Therefore, your blood is currently evaporating and your body is failing. Though look on the bright side, if you had left the spears embedded, you would already be dead. While Ise was almost screaming in pain, Goku decided to intervene. Very well, that's enough. She stood protectively in front of Ise and glanced briefly at Kiba and Kaneko. Guys, make sure you take care of Ise while I take care of her. The aforementioned nodded and hurried to prevent Ise from bleeding out completely, at least until Rias arrived to help him. Leaving Ise in the hands of his companions, Goku glared angrily at Rainier. Last words, seeing that the fallen angel only laughed mockingly, the spiky-haired man acted. As fast as he could, he launched himself at Rainier, who seemed to be expecting him. Faster than he anticipated, she narrowly dodged the attack and attempted to knee him in the abdomen, repeating what she had done to Ise moments before. Seeing what he was planning to do, Goku put up his other hand to lessen the impact. Surprisingly, although he had neutralized it, the blow had thrown him 2 meters back, with a sharp pain in his wrist. Goku realized that Rainier had been holding back. She was much stronger than she seemed. Now taking this more seriously, he decided to play with his skills. Horseback riding. The spiky-haired man had deactivated his promotion after the exorcist took over, deeming it unnecessary to maintain it any longer. With the new speed, he went all out again, apparently with a crash just like before. Although her speed had increased, Rainier could still see the movement and planned to duck so the blow would pass over her and then strike back. However, Goku suddenly changed his movement, taking advantage of the fact that Rainier was now crouching, and stopped her attack. Tower lift. As a last resort, he used the tower ascent to deliver a powerful kick to the falling enemy who was crouching, making it impossible for her to dodge. Therefore, she received the kick squarely on the head and was sent flying into a wall. But Goku didn't stop there and ascended again on horseback. With his improved speed, he ran after Rainier and got in front of her while she was still on her way to the wall. That way, before she could hit the wall, Goku ascended the tower again and kicked the fallen angel in the back, probably breaking something and sending her flying back the way she came, finally falling to the ground amidst several spins. After that, Goku collapsed to the ground exhausted, released his momentum, and spat out a considerable amount of blood. After a few moments of recovering, he got up with some difficulty. Well, I think that was too much for my body, she said with an embarrassed smile to no one in particular when Rainier began to get up. Who knows how? Then she remembered that she had Asia's sacred gear and could heal herself, and she decided not to allow that. But before she could act, Kaneko picked up a fairly large piece of rubble, big enough to be bigger than her, and threw it at the fallen angel. When the rock fell, Rainier let out a blood-curdling scream that even made Goku cover his ears. Rias had now arrived on stage along with Aquino. It seems they managed to win somehow, congratulations, said the redhead, observing the state her servants were in. Ara, don't you want me to heal you, Goku-kun? The aforementioned man felt a chill and nervously refused. No thanks, Aquino-san. The sadist seemed disappointed by the answer and feigned a sad tone. It seems Goku-kun doesn't like me. The comment caused those present to stare blankly, including Issei, who was already stable thanks to having his wounds bandaged. If you didn't notice, I'm dying. The chestnut tree mentioned ironically because apparently they had forgotten about him. Rias placed her hand behind her head in embarrassment. I'm sorry, Issei-kun, I'll heal you now. With that said, Rias set about healing his servant. When he had left him out of danger, he took on a serious expression and looked at Goku, assessing him and determining that he was more or less okay. And then he looked at the fallen angel, frowning even more. He approached them both and patted Goku, congratulating him, then stood in front of Rainier. With considerable pain, Rainier managed to adopt a mocking tone. They think they won, but the reinforcements, they won't arrive. Interrupted laughter with his own mocking tone. The fallen angels Donesik, Karawarner, and Meidelt have been eliminated. To back up her words, Rias pulled several black feathers from her skirt pocket. You can recognize these, right? Upon recognizing whose feathers they were, Rainier was stunned, her jaw agape. I heard that those who attacked Issa and Goku were you and Donesik, in addition to several angels who were sneaking around and planning something. I had a short chat with your companions. Aquino spoke to add to what her president was saying. After receiving them, they told me that what you did was an independent plan. Ise and Goku put on blank faces as they understood what Akino meant by receive, while they imagined Akino torturing fallen angels with her lightning. Even though Ise was a pervert, the mere thought of it made his hair stand on end. The president comes from a dynasty that possesses the power of destruction. Even among the youngest demons, she is considered a genius for controlling this energy. She is Ria's Gremory, known as the Crimson Princess of Doom. The nickname made Goku and Ise roll their eyes as they thought. The Crimson Princess of Doom, that sounds way too dangerous. The cause of your defeat was underestimating my family. Goku has incredibly high strength, along with a transformation whose nature we don't yet know, while Ise has the Red Dragon Emperor Gauntlet. The statement surprised Rainier beyond belief, while Ise and Goku were puzzled, not knowing who the Red Dragon Emperor was. Does he have a Longinus? This time both boys understood, remembering how Rias had told them about the Longinus, sacred gears with the power to kill a god. The statement had excited Ise. And now, with a somber look, Rias stared at the fallen angel. It's time for you to disappear. Obviously, I'll take that sacred gear too. Upon hearing Ria's statement, Rainier panicked. Please, Ise-kun, save me. I really love you. Goku made a face of disgust when he heard her say that after everything she had said to Ise before. Let's kill these demons together, Ise-kun. Reaching his limit, Ise spoke. Madam President, I've reached my limit. I'm entrusting this to you. Rias nodded and a magic circle formed on her palm. Attempt to seduce my servant, turn to ashes. With that said, from the magic circle in his palm, a black and red sphere emerged that pulverized Rainier on contact, leaving Goku surprised. After a couple of seconds of silence, Ise spoke. Goodbye, my first loves. End of chapter 9.
Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.